All right. Hello, guys. I hope you're all doing well. I'm just going to wait a second and see if any more people come in. This is my first time running this class, so I'm a little nervous. Kind of excited, though. Exciting and scary. No, I'm more nervous about the fact that one of my kids are home today when he should be at kinder, but he's not feeling 100%. So I'm hoping this all goes to plan. But jumping straight in, for those who don't know me, my name is Monique. If you didn't come from my Cut Talks page where I shared the link to register for this class, and somebody else has shared the link with you to come watch this, my name is Monique. I'm a stay-at-home mum of two boys, Tane and Arlo, to my partner Matt. And this quote I love. You've probably heard of the first half of it. The second half is often left out, and I find the whole quote, I resonate with it really well. So I'm a manifesting generator. If you look into human design, you'll have probably heard of this before. And what that means is I am a multi-passionate person. So I have many interests and talents. And so I find this quote, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes is better than a master of one. I find that really resonates with me. But what I would consider to be my most important passion currently is educating myself, my family, and others around reducing their toxic load for better health. And today, in the sense of that, I am talking about all things sleep. So I would love to know, if you haven't already got your camera on, turn it on if you're comfortable to, but I would love to know in the chat box, what are you grateful for today? I am grateful for you guys who are here, taking the time out of your day to learn with me. I know your time is valuable, and I just want to thank you for taking the time out to be here. If you've got any questions, leave them in the chat box and I will answer them at the end. If I don't know the answer to something, I will go back, I will do research, and I will get back to you and we can learn together. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know the answer to something if I don't. And what I love about the community that I'm in is there are a lot of experts in lots of different areas. And so I can go back and I can learn as well, which is super fun. So chuck it in there. I'll save answering questions till the end. I've got a lot to get through. I'm going to try and keep this to an hour, but I'm going to jump straight in. So sleep, the thing we all need, the thing I think a lot of us take for granted as well, especially before kids. Our internal body clock, also known as our circadian rhythm, is responsible for the regulation of our sleep. So getting enough quality sleep is needed for so many things, but a few of those things to sort through and store the day's information. So this is especially important for kids who are learning a lot in those early years. They need a lot more sleep, as you'll see on the next slide, next few slides. They need a lot more sleep than adults do, because they're processing so much information. You also need good quality deep sleep for repairing cell damage from things like stress and UV rays, as well as just to carry out bodily functions such as stress relief, mental health, mood improvement, disease prevention, so much more. And research is actually showing that even a little bit of disturbed sleep actually reduces your natural killer cell function, which we need these killer cells to destroy infected cells and cells that are infected with viruses and some types of cancer cells. And getting enough deep sleep, especially during the cooler months, which we are here in Australia now in winter, is so incredibly important for our immune system. Now, sleep cycles vary from person to person, from night to night, and they're based off a range of factors like age, alcohol consumption, recent sleep patterns. And there is 4 sleep stages in a sleep cycle. The first stage is stage 1. Your body's not fully relaxed at this point. Your brain and your body are, the activity is starting to slow down. It's easy to be woken up in this stage, but if you are left undisturbed, you can quickly move on to stage 2, where in stage 2, your body enters a more relaxed state. There's a drop in your body temperature, your heart rate, your brain activity is all slowing, your breathing as well. You typically spend half of your sleep time in this stage. Next sleep stage is stage 3, also known as deep sleep. This is where a person is a lot harder to wake. Your muscles, your pulse, and your breathing rate are decreasing. And experts believe that this sleep stage is critical to restorative sleep, which allows for recovery and growth. And even though your brain activity is reduced, there is evidence to suggest that this deep sleep contributes to insightful thinking, creativity, and memory retention. So you spend most of the first half of the night in this sleep stage, and as you cycle through these stages and the night goes on, you spend less time in this sleep stage and more time in REM sleep, which is stage 4, the rapid eye movement sleep. So in REM sleep, your brain activity picks back up again, nearing level C when you're awake. But at the same time, your body is experiencing something called atonia, which is the temporary paralysis of muscles, with 2 exemptions being your eyes and the muscles that control your breathing. Though your eyes are closed, your eyes can be seen moving really quickly, which is where the name comes from. And this is a sleep stage that is known for the most vivid dreams, which is explained by that, significant uptake in brain activity. Now, everyone is different. As you can see, everybody at every age and depending on everyone's health conditions need different levels of sleep. Sleep deprivation can have a really strong knock-on effect where it can actually reduce your ability to make decisions, and it impacts your everyday life. It can keep you in this constant fight or flight mode. And when you lack sleep, you can make poor choices in many things, but one of those things is nutritional choices, which affects your gut health. And if your gut health is affected, your sleep is affected, and it's just, as you can see, there's this vicious cycle. So everyone is different. Let me know in the chat box, are you getting enough sleep? This is the recommended sleep for the different age groups. I know my kids probably aren't getting enough sleep. Me either. Let me know in the comments, are you getting enough sleep? Now, after school age, you want to be skipping naps, because naps actually have the opposite effect of what you want. But now I'm going to talk about the sleep sins, the things that negatively impact your sleep, as well as some solutions for those. Now, the tips I'm going to share, they may not all suit your family and your lifestyle. I wouldn't recommend trying them all at once either. You don't want to become overwhelmed, but instead, pick a few, start small, make those changes through things like habit stacking. So come dinner time, if you put the diffusers on and stack that habit together, it'll become second nature, and you'll just go to turn that diffuser on automatically, and that helps make those changes that little bit easier to then obviously get that better sleep that we all need. Now, as I said, I'm going to talk about the sins, the things that negatively impact sleep, and provide solutions for those. I'm going to be a little bit of a party pooper. I'm sorry. But these things are important to know. Now, a couple of the obvious ones that you probably already know about are alcohol and caffeine. Now, you want to limit them in general, as both of them are stressors to our bodies. They cause negative health effects. I think a lot of us know that, but they also stay in our body for hours and hours and hours. So caffeine, especially if you can avoid that altogether, great. If you can't, if you need your coffee in the morning, try and avoid having coffee after midday. Coffee, or caffeine, sorry, has a 6-hour half-life. So what that means is if you consume caffeine at midday, there is still half of the caffeine in your body at 6 p.m. and potentially residual coffee most of the night. So caffeine can be affecting your sleep most of the night if you are consuming it at midday or after. Now, caffeine includes obviously coffee, black, green, matcha, and yerba mate teas, energy drinks, chocolate, I know, I'm sorry, soda drinks, and guarana as well. Excuse me. If you are wanting to start cutting back your caffeine, one thing that I find, so I go back and forth, I'll cut back on my caffeine and I'll feel great, and then I'll just start drinking more of it again. I like the taste of it. And I found when I was cutting it back, adrenal cocktails I found super helpful. So these help your adrenals, and they're super easy to make. I use orange juice, coconut water. I do a little pinch of salt as well. And they help with things like adrenal fatigue. And I actually found them super helpful for things like withdrawals as well. When I was cutting back my coffee, I didn't have any headaches, whereas I normally would if I wasn't having them. So that's super interesting. Alcohol, again, I'm sorry, I don't want to be a party pooper. Alcohol, you know, occasionally is fine. We've all got to have our guilty pleasures. It's just about being aware and knowing your options. Now, alcohol can help you fall asleep quicker. But what it does do is it actually shortens your sleep cycle. So you don't get the deep sleep and the REM sleep that you need. And you can obviously wake frequently as well to have to go to the toilet. Now, one thing you might not know about is your food consumption and how that can affect your sleep. Now, eating obviously puts your body to work. Your digestive system fires up to process the fuel that you just gave it. It can also slightly increase your body temperature, which can prevent you falling and staying asleep. And if you're eating simple, refined carbs, these are actually digested fast. So what they do is they convert to glucose in the body. And so that is energy. You're getting a rush of glucose to your body muscles, which can cause things like muscle movements and just affect falling and staying asleep. So it's best to avoid eating the 2 hours before bedtime. If you find you are getting hungry in that 2 hours before bedtime, if you can try adding complex carbs into your dinner, that's going to help you feel full for longer because they are slowly digested and they they help you feel full for longer, so you're less likely to snack. If you are still finding that you're needing to snack, if you can snack on things like nuts, because these are slowly digested, they contain protein and fat, which helps you feel full, as well as magnesium. They're rich in magnesium, which helps to calm the nervous system. Now, gut health, like I said, is obviously crucial for sleep and vice versa. Getting pre and probiotics into your diet through food is great and essential for supporting that gut microbiome and ultimately your sleep. Now, I do a pre and probiotic, which I found really, really helpful alongside working with my naturopath for my leaky gut. Another thing that affects your sleep is light. Now, light is the most important factor in aligning your circadian rhythm, with blue light having the largest impact on your sleep. The obvious blue light sources are computers, tablets, smartphones, that kind of thing, as well as fluorescent and LED light bulbs in your home. And then the sun. The sun is one of the main sources of blue light. We're going to talk about that next, but a lot of us are exposed to that synthetic blue light from electronics right up to the point we fall asleep. You know, we're lying in bed, we're scrolling, and then we're popping it down and we're trying to go to sleep. And what this synthetic blue light does is it suppresses the release of the hormone melatonin, which is the primary hormone that influences our circadian rhythm and our sleep cycles and makes us feel sleepy. Now, lower melatonin levels make it harder to fall and stay asleep, but studies are also suggesting that lower levels of melatonin, as well as more blue light exposure, is being linked to health problems such as metabolic changes like blood sugar, lower levels of the chemicals that signal fullness after meals, so causing weight gain, lower energy, depression, increased oxidative stress, as well as risk of hormone-related cancers. And that's not even mentioning the eye strain and damage from blue light. So, as I said in the last slide, sun is the largest or main source of blue light. And until the invention of artificial lighting, the sun was the major light source for people. People literally structured their day around the sun. When the sun was up, they were up. When the sun was going down, they were going down to wind down for bed. Getting sun in the morning, within that first hour of waking, at least 10 minutes of unfiltered sunlight. So ditch the sunglasses. Even if it's cloudy, get out in the sun. And avoid the sunglasses. So what sunglasses do is they stop the light from hitting your optic nerve, which stops melanin production, which melanin protects your cells from the UV damage. And wearing sunglasses can actually cause you to burn, which is crazy. But getting out in the sun, if you have your morning coffee out in the sun for 10 minutes, you can walk the kids to school. You can also then obviously benefit from the vitamin D. That's going to help with regulating your circadian rhythm. You're going to feel more alert. Your brain's gonna function better. You're gonna be in a better mood. You're gonna have more energy. And then ditching the synthetic blue light in the evening as the sun's going down. So as the sun starts going down, you're seeing more of those longer red light waves from the sun, and it's looking more red and less blue. Whereas in the morning, the sun is you've got that blue light, and that is going to help with the release of melatonin, which makes you feel sleepy. So if you are then inside and you're under blue light bulbs, and then you're on your phone scrolling, you're really going to affect that hormone release, which makes you feel sleepy. So the obvious way to avoid that is to stay off the electronics if you can. Now, the 2 to 3 hours before bed, you want to try and avoid that and get outdoors instead. That's going to be the best way, so that you're seeing that red light from the sun. You can also, instead of scrolling on social media in bed or in the evening, opt for something else like reading. Read a book or listen to a audiobook or a podcast. Listen to music, journal, gratitude journal, or the opposite. If you don't find yourself good at gratitude journaling, you can write down all the shit things that have happened in a week so that you can burn the paper at the end of the week. And that I find is actually a really good practice as well. If you've got kids, they can draw, color, listen to music, listen to a podcast or an audiobook as well, meditative music even, crochet, knit, take a bath, have a herbal tea, whatever it is in your sleep routine. We'll talk about all the things that you can add into your sleep routine to help, but doing something and avoiding that synthetic blue light is really going to have a massive impact on your sleep. Now, avoiding electronics before bed isn't always possible. I know that. I am a work from home mum. I've got the kids, so I get most of my work done on the screen and when they're in bed. So it is sometimes hard to avoid it. And sometimes you just want to have 5 minutes where you're not thinking about anything and you can just scroll and laugh at funny shit. I see you. That said, there is ways that you can minimize that blue light exposure if you are having to be on electronics in those couple of hours leading up to bedtime, and then not have that negative effect from it. So there's a few free hacks. What I love about these is they're free. They're either built in or it's a free app download. Feel free to take a photo of this screen. I'm not going to talk through how to do it on each of them, but there is hacks for virtually every device. Now, if for some reason your device can't find one of these apps, there is lots and lots of apps out there that help with reducing that blue light. If you're wanting extra support, or for some reason you can't get an app on your device that reduces that blue light and shows more of those warmer tones on your screen, you can get things like blue light blocking glasses. I'm wearing some now. You can get glasses that either reduce or completely remove blue light from hitting your eyes. You can get them to wear either in the daytime or for night. They can help to reduce things like headaches, migraines, eye strain, and even increase that melatonin release at nighttime. And then there's the artificial lighting in your home. So if budget allows, changing that artificial lighting in your home alongside setting up a sleep routine is going to have a massive positive effect on your family's sleep. Even if you can, it's hard with rising costs of living, I know, but even if you start with just your bedside table lights or, some night lights around the house, that's going to have a massive impact. Block blue light. I will share on the screen that brand next and the website you can go to have a massive range of artificial lighting for the house, like light bulbs, as well as like battery operated and USB plug-in lighting and lamp options, and they are low EMF, which I will talk about the importance of that soon, as well as flicker free, which is incredibly important for our health as well. They've got a whole blog on why having flicker free lighting is important on their website. But one thing I actually do, and I find is a great option as well, is having real Himalayan salt lamps as the bedside table lighting. They emit that warmer color and they offer other health benefits as well. So This is Block Blue Light's website. If you do go and purchase anything from their website, I've actually got a 10% off code that you can use. CTT10 will get you 10% off, and I'm all for a saving. Now they do, there's loads of brands on the market. I like this one. They've got sleep masks. They've got the blue light blocking glasses. Like I said, they've got that artificial lighting that's low EMF and flicker free. They've also got red light therapy options as well. Obviously, if you have eye issues, you want to be talking to your trusted optometrist to determine what's best for your personal circumstance, but this is a great brand. Next up is your sleep environment. Now, this is really important for sleep. Your bedroom should be kept as a sanctuary for only sleep. And there's a few things that can affect your sleep in this area, starting with EMFs. Now, this could be a bit of a controversial topic, but EMFs can't be seen, smelled, felt, or heard, and yet they are everywhere. We are surrounded by them. We carry them in our pockets or against our heads all day long. They have not been around long enough for any long-term studies to be done on their safety. There is no safe level of EMFs being determined yet. Yet there are reports coming out that EMFs cause mutations in DNA, as well as oxidative damage, which can cause disease and things like premature aging. The WHO actually classify EMFs as possibly carcinogenic, which is crazy. So my question to you is, do you have appliances in your bedroom, and do you need them? Like, do we really need all of these appliances in our bedroom? Can we have tech-free bedrooms? Because avoiding them when we don't know the actual safety on them is super important. Now, you can opt for battery-operated appliances in your bedroom. For me, financially, batteries are expensive. So for me, that's not necessarily practical, and where distance comes in. Distance is your friend in this situation. If you have a bedroom where the smart meter of the house is literally outside it, you want to be keeping 2 meters or further if you can away from it, but keeping any kind of appliances that are emitting EMFs away from your bed, as far away as possible. This includes power points. If you need to rearrange your room, do it. In baby nurseries and in kids' rooms, you want to be, if you can, ditch the baby monitors altogether. If baby's in your room for that first little bit, you don't even need it. If they're in the room next door, can you use your intuition and hear them? I woke up almost every single time just before my babies did when they were little. Our intuition as mothers is incredible. If you need the reassurance of a baby monitor, ditch wireless. Ditch wireless. The EMFs that come out of them are crazy. And use plug-in and keep it that 2 meters plus away from baby's head. It's especially important in those early years for the baby's development and growth. Same goes for mobiles. Do you need it to be electronic? Stick to the good old manual mobile. Same goes for toys. They don't need all of the toys in the bedroom. If you can dedicate an area in the house to keep all your toys in for them, and that's not in their bedroom, especially the electronic ones, great. Sound machines, do you need them? I know they can be helpful if you do need them. Keep them away from the bed. Keep them as far away from their head as possible. Use your phone and sit that 2 meters plus away from their cot. Same goes for our bedroom as well. You don't want to be charging any kind of device, especially smartphones, in your bedroom. The radiation that comes from them is massive. And if you're leaving them on your bedside table, they're sending and receiving signals all night long. So you want to keep it, if you ideally want to turn it off out of your room. I know for me, I want it kept on for important things. So I actually, on the hacks page, you would have seen that there was a hack for sleep focus. So I've got an iPhone. It's got the option to set up a sleep focus where it literally limits the amount of notifications you're getting. So it's a great way to stop yourself from getting distracted and scrolling social media, and keeping those notifications to the really important ones. So I can actually leave my phone on loud Not get a million notifications that are waking me up through the night. Leave it on my dresser, which is like 2 meters away from me. And then if I do get a call from someone and it's important, I'm still getting that and I can still hear that, but it's as far away from me as possible. Otherwise, there is the option, obviously, to turn your phone onto airplane mode. And then turning your Wi-Fi router off at night is massive as well in terms of EMFs. Bunnings actually have little timer PowerPoint things, which I've not invested in yet. It's on my wish list because for me, I don't want to have to try and remember turning that off every night. I know I would just forget. So having that timer there to do the remembering for me, do the work for me is amazing. Now, next thing in the bedroom is air quality. So important. When your air quality is good and you're breathing good, you're sleeping good. You know, if you're blocked up, you're snoring, you're constantly being woken. Now, things that affect air quality, obviously temperature, carbon dioxide, airflow, humidity, pollutants, they all affect air quality. Now, if budget allows, air purifiers are ideal. Again, this is on my wish list. I've been wanting them for so long. A couple of really good brands are Oz Climate and Inno there. You want to be looking for HEPA filters because they are going to filter out things like mold, which are tiny. But air purifiers, that, as I said, they filter out mold spores, they filter out pollen, dust, hair. This is amazing for people with allergies, as well as viruses, bacteria, and VOCs from off-gassing household things like furniture, decor, bedding, that kind of thing, which is amazing, again, for people with asthma. If you live in a humid climate, some split systems have settings for reducing the humidity in the air. If you're in the country, if you're living in the country and you don't have these things or these issues with humidity, just open the windows. It's free. It allows for letting out those VOCs, bringing in fresh air, allowing for that airflow and cooling that body temperature down to help you fall asleep and stay asleep. And then the other couple of options for purifying the air so that you're getting better sleep is through a diffuser and essential oils. This is amazing for killing nasties in the air. And plants. Now, plants is actually a controversial topic in the bedroom. Who would have thought? Plants can help to purify the air. They can be incredible. But they can also attract pests. When I had plants in my bedroom that were in dirt, they attracted gnats and they did my head in. So angry. Gnats are the most annoyingest little bugs ever. They can also, if you keep your plants too moist, they can grow fungus. And then particular plants, when the sun goes down, they can actually release carbon dioxide instead of oxygen due to that lack of light. So make sure the plants that you've got in your room, you're doing your research and you're making sure that they're not the kind of plant that releases that carbon dioxide into the air, especially if you've got an air purifier as well. You don't want to be bringing things in that are having to make that air purifier work harder. And if you can, maybe move to a hydro plant, so keeping it in water instead of dirt to avoid things like bugs and fungus, and keeping it at a minimum as well. You don't need a lot of things in the bedroom. Now, sleep hygiene. This is really, really important. Now, we've obviously already talked about light and how that affects your sleep. Keeping it as dark as possible in the bedroom is going to help with that melatonin release if you can dim lights. If you can change the artificial lighting, if you can use maybe sensor night lights for little ones, sleep masks, and doing those other activities instead of scrolling, that's going to be amazing for your sleep. Keeping it as quiet as possible as well. Now, there is earplugs that you can buy that completely block out noise or reduce it. Now, a few brands that I've seen are Loop and Baxter Blue, which you can get blue light blocking glasses from Baxter Blue as well. I am dealing with Loop at the moment, so I will potentially have a discount code for them soon. This is obviously going to go a long way for stopping being woken up from outside sources. If you are a mum, I know that's hard. You want to be able to hear if the kids are, calling out to you through the night. So I get that. Now, body temperature. Your body temperature naturally drops when it comes to bedtime, and this actually helps you fall and stay asleep. So if you are a nighttime shower, have your shower or your bath, or if you're someone who goes to the sauna after work, try and do that an hour or so before bedtime to give your body time to lose that heat. Now, in terms of exercise, we'll talk about that on the next slide. But doing that and leaving that hour before bed for relaxing activities is going to be massive to allow your body to lose that temperature and fall asleep. Now, wearing no clothing to bed is ideal for that airflow and your body to naturally regulate its temperature. If you're in a cold climate like we are at the moment, dropping your heating to 18 degrees for adults and 20 degrees for like infants, because they have a harder time regulating their body temperature, or opening your windows to allow for that airflow if you're in a hot climate is going to help with that body drop in temperature as well. If you're too hot, you become sweaty, you become dehydrated, it makes it harder to fall asleep. Now, if you're someone who prefers to wear clothing, or if you've got kids who can't yet regulate their body temperature, if budget allows, try and invest in organic, natural fibered clothing and bedding. Now, Kmart and Aldi have some pretty good organic options. You just got to keep an eye out for them. Synthetic fibers trap in heat, which causes the sweating and the sleep disturbances, and they also contain toxins. And they can be sprayed with things like fumigants coming into the country, as well as things like formaldehyde in manufacturing to help prevent clothing getting wrinkles and stains and that kind of thing. And formaldehyde is actually a known carcinogen. So if you've got this on your skin and on your bedding, and it's literally touching your skin for hours and hours and hours at a time, and your skin absorbs what it touches, it impacts your health. It impacts your ability to have a good sleep. And if you're buying, say, cotton, for example, but it's not organic, you're then having the issue of it being sprayed with pesticides and bleached and that kind of thing. You can detox from, like, if you can't afford the organic stuff, you can detox from that formaldehyde and that in that fabric. But if you can opt for organic, it's also going to improve your air quality. So again, that other thing that helps you sleep. Now, as I said, furniture, decor, all these things, they off-gas volatile organic compounds. During manufacturing and, again, being brought into the country, things are fumigated with chemicals. Porous materials, especially materials like MDF, can absorb these VOCs and then over time release them into their surrounding environment, which pollutes the air we breathe. With things like that formaldehyde, toluene, ammonia, that kind of thing, and that off-gassing is higher in enclosed spaces. So if you sleep with the bedroom door closed, if you've just, you're due to have a baby and you've just set up their nursery with all these new things, they're going to be off-gassing so many VOCs. And it takes a long time for those VOCs to release. Now, we don't know exactly how long items can off-gas for because different materials and different chemicals off-gas at different rates, but VOCs have short and long-term effects on our body. They can accumulate. They can cause things like dizziness and headaches in the short term, and long-term inflammation, irritation. They're linked to diseases and conditions. You want to avoid them if you can, and there's things that you can do, like opening the windows and getting air purifiers, or if budget allows, opting for those organic options. When it comes to beds, bed frames, and cots, sticking to the simple raw unfinished timber and then sealing them yourself with something like grapeseed or linseed oil is great for avoiding the synthetic adhesives and resins that are in materials like MDF, which mold spores love to feed on as well, which is crazy. I don't know if you've seen maybe a year ago that post around the mocha cots that had that solid MDF bed frame and then mold that was growing on it, which is so incredibly toxic for your health. It's scary, actually. So sticking to that raw unfinished timber. IKEA has some really, really good options for bed frames and cot frames. Otherwise, opt for secondhand, because even if it is a material like MDF and it's secondhand, a lot of the off-gassing will have been done in the previous owner's home, which is terrible for them. But for you, it's great in that sense, and it's also a way to save money. And now when it comes to the mattresses and pillows and that kind of thing, you obviously want it to be comfortable, otherwise you're going to be getting a terrible night's sleep as well. But mattresses are typically made from memory or polyurethane foam, cotton, and spring coils. So we've got blogs around this on my private oily communities website. But mattresses are typically made from petroleum derived materials, which are highly flammable, obviously, and they emit high levels of VOCs. And due to that flammability, they need a flame retardant, which the most commonly used flame retardant is PDBEs. And for kids, this impacts their neurodevelopment. It can have a carcinogenic effect as well as affect things like our hormone system. You know, if it's cotton as well and it's not organic, it's sprayed with the pesticides and bleach and spring coils, can attract EMFs as well. So it's this whole thing. So when you are looking for mattresses, you want to be looking for 100% natural latex. That is actually naturally flame retardant as well as dust mite resistant. Same goes for wool. Rubberized coconut coils instead of spring coils. Organic cotton and bamboo lyocell covers instead of those waterproof PUL what are they called, mattress protectors. They contain a lot of phthalates, which we know are toxic for us. So we've got a lot of brand recommendations in our community, as well as discount codes for places like the Natural Bedding Company, Organature, Peace Lily, Blessed Earth, Malaria Organics, Bub's Nest. There are loads and loads of options out there, and we've got those discount codes as well, which makes it that little bit easier on the wallet. Now, as I said, we're going to talk about this next, movement for sleep. Movement for sleep, that daily physical activity is actually amazing for sleep. But doing the vigorous exercises before bed can actually, ramp up that body temperature and your metabolism as well, which has that opposite effect. So you want to keep the vigorous activity for in the morning, so you got that energy boost throughout the day or just during the day, and keeping that 2 to 3 hours before bed to relaxing activities or to light movement like light yoga, stretching, meditation, those activities that are designed for calming the body. Now, EFT tapping is meant to be really great for sleep and things like anxiety as well. I haven't given it much time at all. I have downloaded the app, Tapping Solution. That's meant to be a really great app for it, but I haven't given it a go yet. And meditation, it's not something I actually think I can do. I think my mind is too loud at this point in this season in my life that I don't think it's something that I'm able to actually do yet. But we've got a whole blog on how amazing meditation is for us, and the Headspace app is meant to be really good for it as well. But instead of those things, I opt for breath work. Now, breath work has very similar benefits to meditation. It is compared to meditation, so that's why I opt for breath work. I'm just more drawn to it, and I can use my essential oils alongside it. Now, breath work is a learned skill. And it focuses on manipulating your breathing rate and depth, and it can have benefits like boosting your immune system, improving your mood, lowering cortisol levels, and even releasing trapped emotions and toxins from the body, which we all want. Now, you want to start small when it comes to breath work and start with 1-minute exercises and work your way up. YouTube has a lot of great tutorials on this. A couple of the techniques that I like are box breathing, the alternative nostril breathing, and the 4-7-8 technique, which is probably my favorite technique. And I use my essential oils alongside this before bed. If you got the sleep oil samples that I sent out, you can give it a go with this before bed, and it's like an instant relax for me. So essential oils are incredible for sleep. They're incredible for so many things. They are so incredibly versatile. They've been used for thousands of years, many ailments. But for sleep in particular, I love them because they don't have those negative side effects like feeling groggy that you get with synthetic sleep aids and medication and that kind of thing. There is over 30,000 studies done on the therapeutic benefits of essential oils and aromatherapy for calming the nervous system, reducing cortisol levels, improving your sleep as well. And the reason why essential oils are a powerful tool when it comes to creating a better sleep environment is due to the connection between our sense of smell and the limbic system. So when the aroma reaches the limbic system, it generates a response based on memories associated with the smell. So if you're using calming essential oils aromatically, this is a great way to signal to your brain that it's time to start relaxing for bed. So essential oils can be used in 3 ways. The easiest way and the best way to introduce essential oils to your family if you've not used them before is aromatically. So this is through your sense of smell, either smelling it straight from the bottle, adding a drop to the palm of your hand and inhaling it, or diffusing it. You can also use essential oils topically with putting a drop in your hand with some carrier oil and applying it where you need, making up a roller or a balm. This is great for targeted application as well if you're wanting it for other benefits. Keeping in mind that some essential oils have photosensitivity, meaning you can burn if you go in the sun with them, and some of them are hot oils. We teach all about the safety and dilution around using essential oils. We are massive when it comes to safety, so you learn all about that when you join our community, as well as internally. So you can use essential oils internally. There is no pressure to use them internally if you're not comfortable to do so, but do know that you actually consume some essential oils in your diet. So if you're baking with something like the lemon rind, for example, the lemon essential oil is actually sourced from that rind. So you are consuming a little bit of essential oil when you are using essential oils internally. So the first way to use essential oils is aromatically. The easiest way to help wind down for the night is by chucking the diffusers on 1 to 2 hours before bed with your favorite calming essential oils and running it until you go to bed and then turning it off. I love lavender peace, console, or the kids' calmer oil in the diffuser. They smell incredible, so relaxing. 2 people can react differently to a single oil as well. So what works for you might not work for someone else. We're all bio individuals. We all react to things differently. Or, maybe your partner, like mine, isn't a fan of the diffuser and the smells. It's very sensitive to the smells. And so, or maybe you don't yet have a diffuser. Some other ways you can use them, your essential oils aromatically, is by dropping some onto your pillow or adding them to your laundry powder or dryer balls when you're washing your bed sheets, so that you've got, say, for example, lavender on the dryer ball and in your washing powder when you're washing your bed sheets, and that calming smell is already on them. You can also make up a linen spray that you can spray right before bed, or you can call it a monster spray if you've got little ones who are worried about that. Balance and wild orange together for that is amazing, but some other oils that you can chuck in there that are great are adaptive, bergamot, lavender. They've all been shown to calm the nervous system, help with things like stress as well. They're great. You can also, if you're a nighttime shower, you can pop a few drops of the oil on the floor of your shower just outside that water stream, so that the aroma steams up with the steam and you get that way. Easy air is a really good one, especially if you're finding you're a little bit blocked up. It helps to open your airways, and again, if you're breathing good, you're sleeping good. Lavender peace is another one to do that. Or you can pop a drop in the palm of your hand and inhale them, cup your mouth and your nose and inhale. This is what I love to do with breath work, literally right before I sit in bed, and I found that to be really beneficial. I love the peace oil with this. That is my all-time favorite oil to do with breath work. And then there's topical applications. So not only do you get the aromatic benefits when you're using essential oils topically, but you also have them absorbed into your bloodstream, which helps to relax muscles and your nervous system that little bit quicker. So a few ways you can use essential oils topically is in bath salts. Add the oils to the bath salts before adding to the bath water at nighttime. This is great if you don't have a bath like me. You can do a foot soak. Some great oils to get into your bath salts are balance, frankincense, lavender. Again, the kids' calmer oil, that's great for the little ones. It's made for kids. It's got all those gentle oils in it. You can make up a body oil or a sleep roller and do a massage. This is a great way to bond with your little ones as well. If you're needing relief for other things, you can use oils that double for the discomfort. Say, for example, if you're on your cycle, you can use something like pipe on your abdomen, and then that is also, the aroma of that is also going to calm you and help you wind down for bed. And then applying a heat pack as well for that relief. Applying essential oils to reflex points is another really, really good one, or acupressure points. For me, I love using vetiver. So vetiver is often referred to as a natural tranquilizer. And I love using that on the bottom of my big toe before bed because this is my brain's reflex point. So if you have a hard time turning the voices off in your head, for me, I find that that really helps to quieten my mind, and then applying balance to the soles of my feet as well and massaging that into the whole soles of my feet. There are loads and loads of nerve endings and reflex points on the soles of your feet. It's generally a good spot to apply oils for quick absorption as well. There's no hair follicles slowing down that absorption. There's big pores. I find that a really good spot, and balance is great as well for your immune in general, as well as for your cells and protecting against things like EMFs. It's amazing. And then there's magnesium spray. So magnesium is also referred to as the relaxation mineral. It's vital for many processes in your body, but for health in general, amazing. And a lot of us are low in it, especially kids. So topical application is the safest way to get your magnesium outside of food, obviously. Topical application bypasses your digestive tract and it gets straight to work, and your body absorbs at a rate at which it needs. So it's obviously great to get that through bar salt, magnesium in bar salt, or making up a spray, or if you've got little bubs, New Glow Co has little gel rollers for babies. We've also got a discount code in our community for her. She's lovely, Sav. And then there's internal use. Now, I will preface this by saying if you have any health concerns, always check with your trusted healthcare provider before implementing anything, especially internal use of essential oils. Now, not all essential oils are safe to be used internally as well, so make sure you're reading labels if you are going to be using them internally. And when I recommend internal use of essential oils, I'm only referring to doTERRA's essential oils. I know their testing standards. I know they're pure. I know they're safe. My favorite way to use essential oils internally is through doTERRA's TGA approved lifelong vitality supplements. When I started taking these, I personally noticed like a massive improvement in my sleep quality as well as my hair, my mood, my skin, my energy. But when it was sleep, it's great. And our soils are so depleted from over farming that the food that we're eating now has nowhere near as many nutrients as the food that our grandparents were eating. So having that as a solid base with my diet is, for me, that's, yeah, need it. And for it to help with my sleep as well, I love them. A couple of other ways you can use essential oils internally are copaiba and frank. These two are great for calming our nervous system. Copaiba, if you don't want to have to make up your own capsules, the copaiba soft gels are amazing. My partner is very hesitant on using essential oils, and he had started using the copaiba soft gels before bed, and he said that they just knocked him out. They're amazing. But you can make up your own. Adding like a drop of copaiba or frankincense to a veggie or a gelatin capsule with some olive oil and taking that before bed is amazing. It's going to support your cells. Frankincense is an antioxidant, so that's going to not only help calm you down, but it's also going to support your body as a whole. Or you can opt for a drop of essential oil in a tea or a cacao with things like medicinal mushrooms that are great for supporting sleep, like reishi and ashwagandha are great. For me, I like to make up this chocolate milk syrup. It makes it so much easier making hot chocolates for everyone, or cold chocolate drinks. Kids think it's chocolate milk without all the junk in it. You can also add bergamot. So bergamot is a great oil for sleep and stress. Adding that to some warm water and honey, that's going to replace your Earl Grey tea, or adding in a drop of Roman chamomile as well. That's great before bed. Now, example sleep routine. This is what I try and do. Routine's obviously going to vary from family to family, from person to person, depending on your lifestyle. A great place to start is by setting up a diffuser in the afternoon to help everyone wind down for bed. It's the easiest way. It's like the least invasive way. Maybe your kids don't like to be touched a lot. This is a great way to benefit from essential oils and help wind down and just calm down, especially in that witching hour before bed. You know what I'm talking about, mums. I know you do. Now, whatever you choose to add to your routine from what I've shared today, my top tip would be set a bedtime and set a wake time and stay consistent with it. This is going to help regulate your circadian rhythm. But if you've got kids as well, kids thrive off routine. So if you're doing this, you're setting up that specific time and sticking to it, they're going to thrive off that. Now, if you're looking to get essential oils into your home, you don't yet have them, there's two ways that you can get them into your home. You can either out of a couple of custom items and your introductory pack. This is basically your account setup fee, $35. Or you can get a starter pack, which waives that $35 introductory pack setup fee. And the oils are bundled and discounted cheaper than wholesale pricing, which is amazing value. If you need help picking some custom items, reach out to me. I'll have my contact details on the next few slides, and I can help you decide what would be best for your needs and your budget. Otherwise, my top picks would be these three. Now, all of these come with a free Kids Thinker oil when you use my link this month. Now, you can scan that QR code and enter in my ID number 8721230. This will link you into my community, which I'll share about all the things we do next, and get you that free Kids Thinker oil. Now, the Bedtime Bliss pack is not a starter pack, so you will need to add that introductory pack onto it, and reach out to me if you are looking at getting started with this pack, because it is a great one. It is being made for sleep. It's got all those oils in it. It's got fractionated coconut oil, which allows you to start using essential oils topically as well straight away. I love that one. The Family Essentials starter pack and then the Emotional Wellness starter pack waive that introductory fee. You've obviously got the diffuser in the Emotional Wellness pack, as well as those sleep oils like Balance and Lavender Peace and Adaptive. They're great. And you can start diffusing before bed. The Family Essentials pack, if you're looking to use essential oils for a range of things and not just sleep, this would be the one I would recommend, because it has the top 10 most used oils and they are all incredibly versatile. But you do have those oils like frankincense, balance, and lavender, which are amazing for sleep, as well as fractionated coconut oil as well. When you join using my link, you get access to many things. When you create an account, you have access to wholesale pricing and low tox products, as well as that wholesale pricing on oils. You get access to my community and myself, so you'll get myself for guidance and support. That you can ask me questions any time of the day or night, and I can help you with things like low tox suggestions, as well as correct essential oil usage, dilution ratio, that kind of thing. You'll also join my wider communities, where we educate holistically, like on all things holistic low tox living. We recommend low tox brands. We've got heaps of discount codes as well to make switching to low tox that little bit easier financially, which is so incredibly helpful. And we've got both on and off social media platform options if you are wanting to avoid social media. Now, there is a couple of myth busting things. There's no minimum ordering that you need to do when you create an account. A lot of people think when you create an account that you need to order every single month, and that is absolutely not the case. You can opt into monthly ordering, but it's not something that you have to do. Now, if you're not quite ready, or you've got some questions, you can chuck them in the chat box or the comments, or you can reach out. I'll put my details on the slide next. But if you've got questions, reach out. We can have a one-on-one call. We can chat through all of your questions or your concerns. I can help you with anything like suggestions on what packs to get started with. I can put together a custom plan for you as well if you need. Everyone who joins also gets one of those anyway. If you've got any questions, I'm just going to check the chat box and see if there's any questions in there. But you can reach me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. I've got all the things at cut the talks, cut_the_talks. You can email me. My website's on there. You can text me or reach me on WhatsApp with my phone number. Any questions at all, it's what I'm here for. Reach out. But I hope you have found and learned a few things from this little workshop. If you do start implementing these things, let me know how you go. Or if you're already doing some of these things, let me know how you're finding them with your sleep. Are they helping? What are you doing? Let me know. Any questions, reach out. I can't see any questions in the chat box as yet. So that is all from me. I know I just word vomited all the things. But I really do want to thank you for jumping on today to learn. I have had a lot of fun with this. I have been working on this class for a while, and there's so many things in there that I'm still yet to implement in my home, because budget doesn't yet allow for some of these things, but they're absolutely on my wish list. And yeah, any questions, let me know. But that is all from me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. But I hope you guys have taken a few points from here, or a lot. That would be great. That's all for me. Thank you again.